It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Wah, 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 wah. I don't know why I did that. What was that? Oh, it was Game of Thrones. I don't know why that's in my head.
All right, so real quick before we jump into everything else, because
all the stuff. So much stuff.
somebody posted the logo to the new Dune movie on Twitter this morning, I think it was.
Oh.
And I commented on it, and then of course you commented on my comment about the GIF looking like a Slimer like thing.
It did, the big flying
Yeah.
gelatinous thingy. I don't know what it was.
From the original Dune movie in '84.
Okay.
And I looked it up and was like, wait, Ghostbusters and Dune they both came out in 1984. The first Ghostbusters anyways.
Yeah.
So then I dove a little deeper and I realized, so the original Dune came out December 14th, 1984.
Okay.
And the sequel is coming out December 18th, 2020.
Huh.
Or not sequel, but reboot. So it's almost, 36 years later, almost to the date. I'm kind of sad that they didn't put it on the exact date, but whatever.
Fair enough.
And then the original Ghostbusters came out June 7th, 1984, and this soft reboot? No, sequel? I think it's a sequel.
It's an actual sequel. Yeah.
It comes out almost a month and 36 years later than the original one. So it comes out July 10th, 2020. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but they could have capitalized and just made it the exact same day, but whatever.
I don't know.
I don't really care. I just thought it was interesting.
I was sitting there. I'm like, the marketing stuff is neat because even they even make a joke in Rise of Skywalker. I guess it's not even a joke. It's just something stupid that J.J. Abrams tried to do.
Wait.
In Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. Yeah.
The heroes end up on some desert planet, of course, because they're not creative and can't come up with other types of planets.
Right. They all fucking look like a desert. It must be cheap to shoot in the desert. I don't know.
Sure, why not? And there's some big celebration going on, and C-3PO is like, "Oh, we stumbled on a celebration that happens every 42 years."
Go fuck yourself.
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" And they're like, "But you don't get it, John. It's because it's been 42 years since A New Hope." I go, that's adorable, but fuck you. You know what I mean?
Which brings me to another point real quick, because we'll dive right back in there.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
But you got, I think you got butthurt or something the other day when I was texting you, and then because I was like, I'm not defending Batwoman, I just am holding out hope for it.
No, I still hate you. No, okay.
And then you got so butthurt over it, and we're like, well, Star Trek is shit, and Star Wars was better anyways. They did space stories better in 3 movies than Star Trek did in 40 years. But Star Trek's been out more than 40 years. But I didn't want to text that back to you.
It was because 50. It was 50 something.
Yeah.
To be fair,
because if Star Wars has been for 42, then yeah.
No, what's actually really funny, because I just didn't follow up with you, because I ended up getting fucking torn away to do something else that was much more mind draining.
Yeah.
That was totally just to try and fuck with you.
Oh yeah, I know.
I absolutely don't believe that. It was kind of one of those let's get a hot take and let's see what he thinks about stuff. And it's just dude, Star Wars is sci-fi fantasy shit, and Star Trek actually has real world implications now, and the characters are actually way more fleshed out. There's more of them, and they transcend decades.
The funny thing is too, you were trying to get a thing out of me, and all I did was send him a what are these emoji or something things of my character that just says "good one" with a crab on top of it.
Yeah, and
I was just like, oh, haha. Yeah.
It's just I get it. The first 3 Star Wars are great, and the characters are so good. Yeah. But now you see where they end. and it's like fucking Christ, like.
Yeah.
How
Well,
do you
that's
watch
also
the old
like
ones?
I look
But
at
see,
it
you
just
have
like
Picard going on now,
right,
and because they did prequel stuff with Discovery and the movies like did the alternate timeline with actual actors, it's like how
see it
annoying
all.
would it be to hear something like that though? And it's just, but it's devastating to hear like this idea of like you're a dinosaur who doesn't understand that the franchise needs to evolve. I'm like, no, it
Right.
doesn't. The franchise could have just stayed where it was, and you guys could have came up with your own shit. It's just
that's
everybody wants to be part of fandom now.
yeah. Because again, as we're recording, there's only been one episode of Picard dropped, so I have no reference to what else is coming.
Yeah.
But along the lines of everything else too, with what you just said, it's like, what did I say? I said something. I posted a thing on Twitter at Myke Shrews.
Fuck. Oh my God.
I was like, if you don't like the new Star Trek shows or movies, just remember not everyone's the god, lowercase g, Gene Roddenberry, or even had the privilege to work with him or hear his vision, because Gene Roddenberry was still alive when they started Next Gen, even.
Okay.
So he was still part of that. And then, he passed away, and then what'd they do? DS9 right away. Complete shift from like what his vision of Star Trek was.
Yeah, which a lot of people don't share your sentiment of it being so
good,
beloved.
Right.
And me, I didn't grow up on Next Generation. I grew up on Deep Space Nine and then moved backwards and then I prefer TNG. I think that's just because I like those characters better. And I like the storylines. I like people talking in a room. Like I like good actors talking in a room.
It's like the same thing that people gave DS9 back in the day. Like, I'm surprised they even got its full 7 seasons, but like they were contracted for 7 seasons each show that came out.
Well, it's CBS, dude. Like CBS will never let the stranglehold go on that franchise. They just won't.
With all the shit that went on, like people were like, "This isn't Star Trek. It's the same shit they're saying like about Discovery right now and shit like that,
dude."
And now there's a lot more people coming out of the woodwork being like, no, fucking DS9 was awesome. Probably because they're comparing it to, Discovery shit.
Now, let me see. And now, God, see, I'm glad you said that. Thank you. Again, this is something that's happening with Star Wars. It's this weird lamenting of, the things that came after the things we loved were kind of shit. Mm-hmm. But then it's like even worse shit comes out. And then you're like, okay, maybe it wasn't so bad. Like, George Lucas, come back, please. It's like, no.
He did the prequels though.
The prequels were shit.
Right.
They're shit. And people are like, no, there's good stuff. Yes, there's good stuff in there. Lightsaber duels are neat. Mm-hmm. Mace Windu's fun, sure. Seeing the rise of Palpatine was pretty cool. Like, how he created an empire. Neat. But it's all
you needed that for the whole Palpatine saga of the 9 movies.
Shut up. I hate you. God damn it. And but it's all in this superficial shitty CGI package with a lot of bad dialogue, a lot of bad acting, and a lot of unmotivated decisions.
Yeah.
And then the sequel trilogy comes out and it's such pure garbage.
Now
that people are lamenting the prequels and going, "Oh, they're great." Well, yeah, they're great in hindsight, but when you compare, when I'm like, okay, Michael, I have a shitty car that has no heat in it. It barely runs, but it gets me to work versus somebody's trying to sell me a car that's literally on fire and broken and has no wheels on it. It's like, okay, well, the car I'm driving now seems pretty good in comparison. You don't get to make something better by default of something else sucking, which is kind of what writers do with characters now. Like, let's just kill off the men and tell everybody that their character sucks while we write this new character who's so much better. And it's like, can't you just let them all be good? Can't they all work together in tandem? And
that's just how storytelling is going at the moment because of everything in politics.
It's all
and shit
it's
like
all
that.
politics.
But as far as what you were trying to get to, like creating something different, like not focusing on the same fucking characters nonstop.
Exactly.
Like the Skywalker family or the Palpatine family, or
God,
whatever you want to see it as.
Who knows now?
And the same thing went. That's another thing in the thing I posted about Roddenberry not having the privilege to work with him. I also commented on as like I wish Kurtzman would get away from the old stories and characters because that's what they've focused on. Even with the reboot movies, it's Kirk in them. I said Star Trek is about exploration, yet we've just focused on past characters and don't explore more of the fucking universe.
Okay,
Can we not travel to the Delta Quadrant or back to the Gamma Quadrant? Because that would be cool.
Okay, I'm going to be on two sides of the coin. Now, bear with me.
Now,
so
here, hold on. Let me state this.
Yeah,
I understand, like, trying to continue a story arc, say, with, like, Picard.
Yeah.
I get it because you're trying to use nostalgia to bring in the people while hopefully getting into an original story arc, not just staying on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Whereas like with the movies, that's all like basically like, hey, we created a new universe even though we're using the same fucking characters.
Yeah, see,
and
that's
it's like,
that's the
how do you
shitty
like
part.
this?
That's
right.
the shitty part.
It's like fuck all the lore, because hey, he time traveled back and changed everything.
You mean Terminator Genesis? Yeah, great. Thanks.
Endgame.
Endgame. Fuck. Why? I feel like this is the Trigger John cast.
Crisis. There you go.
I don't care. Crisis was, to be fair, again, I can't say this enough. Like I went back and I got fucking lost in YouTube compilations of like Barry and Oliver interactions and like old like season 1 and 2 like reveals and shit. And I'm like, man, it hurts so much that everybody is seeing the CW through the lens of Crisis in the last like probably 3 seasons of all the shows or whatever. Which I think is highly unfair for where it came from.
Right.
Because I understand a lot of people's hang up with Flash season 2, which was just essentially Flash season 1. But I go, I'm fine with it because it was still done well and it had more characters and everybody got a chance to do something different. Wow. Yeah.
But didn't have as good of a villain though. The villain was just another mediocre speedster that wasn't as cool as Reverse Flash. It's like Reverse Flash is a lot more.
Cool.
Okay, not cool. Like he wasn't as.
Because Zoom was scary.
He was scary, but he wasn't as brilliant. I would say. How about that? He wasn't as conniving or scheming.
There wasn't this looming.
Like
there wasn't this looming like where is he at all times and like did he move us here and do all this stuff because he knows what's going on. Zoom was just more. He might as well have had a mustache on his mask and twirled it.
$1 million.
But we did get we did get the start of the multiverse and like multiple characters and it gave and just on a audience standpoint, it was neat to see some of the characters get to act.
Yeah.
Like be different characters and do cool neat things. But that trope they kept trying to do over and over and over again, it got boring. By the time you got to DeVoe, you're just kind of like a little too late.
Yeah.
But kind of to come all the way back to like okay, so you look at Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where I make the joke that Disney made the galaxy so small that incest happened, and that's hilarious.
Did it though?
Well, the joke is with Rey and Kylo kissing.
Right.
They're technically related, and then people just say, "Oh, Disney fixed it in a comic book." I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, now explain to people how they're technically related. Some people will be like, "Well, no, one is this person, the other is this person," because not everyone knows
like what the lore is.
The lore is for the Skywalker family shit.
So again, I go by the movies because I feel like anything that's in a third-party comic usually is trying to fix a fuck up that they did.
Well, not only that, and it sucks too because there's so many good storylines and story arcs in not just the comics but actual books that used to be canon until what's her face was like, yeah, none of that's canon now.
Yeah,
Just because they wanted to fuck up whatever movie stuff
and then they
were gonna
stole,
do.
and then they stole them anyway. And then
Yeah, they stole like
ideas
mini
anyway.
tropes. That's what fucking Terminator did. They just stole
That's what
from
I'm
the
saying.
other movies. They were like, yeah, these don't matter anymore.
and then made a
Fuck.
shitty, and then still made a shitty movie. So okay, so the idea is that Palpatine, created Anakin through the Force because he was a virgin birth from Shmi. mom.
Shmee. What about
Shmee.
me?
Not Smee, like Captain Hook's first mate. Shmi. I don't know why. What a stupid name.
Wait, who
But
was that one? Who was that? I forget.
That was Anakin's mom.
Oh yeah.
The
I don't ever think I remember her having a name.
yeah, it was Shmi Skywalker. It's all. Well, did you know that Emperor Palpatine has a first name?
No.
Guess what his name is?
Emperor.
God, if only. I would have preferred that. Sheev.
Sheev Palpatine.
Yep. The creamy Sheev himself. So the idea is that
That's not movie canon though, is it? They never.
I believe that's book.
See,
was
then it
basic
doesn't
book.
matter.
See, and that's what I'm telling myself. So he
Now they
so the
never
idea
actually
is
hinted at that though. Well, they kind of hinted at that in the movies, but that was also something else that they showed more in the comics. Was him like behind the virgin birth and all that shit.
and all that. Yeah. So, but it's heavily
Which kind of
alluded to.
takes away from like the spectacle of like them being a chosen one, you know.
Well, and also fucking midichlorians are dumb. Cause fucking Christ, dude, if midichlorians are in a blood.
Speaking of a virgin birth.
If they're in your shut up. If they're in your blood and they like make you more force sensitive or whatever, wouldn't the Jedi like almost like promote having relationships and creating bloodlines? Like if you had strong midichlorians, you would want to have children with higher blood midichlorian counts.
Yeah,
they
but
would be potentially better Jedi.
Maybe they are worried that might also make better Sith.
That's retarded.
I mean, you never know.
God, so I don't want a super smart scientist because I could have a super mad scientist. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, it's so silly.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't.
Anyway, it's all dumb.
Remember
it's all
that
dumb.
Jedi is just like one branch of like force sensitive people or force
Michael,
using people.
there's a dirty cesspool of what we're trying to get here, and you keep derailing me.
And also, did you hear Disney wants to do a Star Wars series where they're mass producing midichlorians so you can buy
Sure.
them?
It'll be great. Sports.
Shouldn't all like the fucking soldiers, stormtroopers have them then by then?
We'll buy like 500.
Why didn't
overpriced-
Palpatine do that? Like, just go to the cloning facilities and like put midichlorians in all of them, make
Oh,
them
you
all
mean
force
like how?
sensitive.
Oh, you mean like how he created Snoke, who was like one of the most powerful Force users ever, and he could just make it in a test tube?
Was he
Fucking
though?
Christ.
I think maybe he was like force projecting his powers through Snoke,
That makes it worse.
but it makes a little more sense.
That would
It's
make
sad
it
to
worse.
say. It's sad to say, but it would make more sense.
The sequel trilogy is a fucking mess.
But
dude.
also, if he was like speaking through Snoke the entire time, Snoke dying, I mean, don't you think he would be able to force project himself to see everything going on in the room?
There's 900 things wrong with that sequel trilogy, man. There's 900 things with Palpatine being, I'm every voice you've ever heard.
And the sad thing is, like, the
inside
biggest
your
problem with that, of course, if you guys haven't noticed, there's spoilers for all the Star Wars movies. If
gives a
you
shit?
haven't,
This movie sucks.
if people didn't know this, there was lots of hatred going on between the two directors for this trilogy.
lot of dick swinging.
Because basically,
Well, let me finish my
What?
fucking
Who came
point that
in?
you put me on the
Oh, yeah,
me
yeah.
on the track, you asshole. I wouldn't even have cared, but you're the one who made me do it. Palpatine assumedly made Anakin through midichlorians and Force and shit,
yeah.
and that Star Wars girl and like other fucking nerds online have proven that it's like, you know, the Force is a signature of you. So if he made it, essentially it's a part of him. So Anakin then has kids, Luke and Leia. And then Palpatine also has legitimate children that then creates Rey. And Ben Solo is a part of the Skywalker bloodline that he created. And bam, then they kiss. Cool. Funny incest. I don't really care because just really the kiss in itself is just awkward and stupid.
The
and makes
whole
no
kiss
sense.
in itself was bad. It would have been better for them to have more of a brother-sister relationship.
I still maintain
anything.
Rey should have just died. I would have liked her dead and Kylo lived. Fine. Fuck it. And then he has to go around and try and redeem himself for the rest of his life.
Well,
It
see,
would've
that's
made
why
more
they killed him
sense.
too. I mean, he fucking killed his dad.
Exactly.
He killed
it's awful.
he slaughtered lots of people, dude. They're
Well,
not gonna
and-
keep him around
Well, and then fucking
because
like
no one's
my
gonna
fa-
trust him.
Well, and then my favorite fucking part is like, I feel so bad. This is a jumbled mess for whoever but it's listening. But if you've seen Rise of Skywalker, you're just gonna know what we're talking about. So fucking bear with us. But Han Solo coming back to give Kylo a fucking pep talk, like what the fuck? And my favorite part is that either way, it's fucking stupid. And they're like, how so, John? Easy. If he'd have come back as a Force ghost, that would have made zero sense ever in any way.
Right. Because
Now-
he's never was force sensitive.
Yeah,
ever.
he essentially calls it mumbo jumbo for the most part. And fucking Christ. So then he comes back and they're like, well, they use a memory. Your memory. And I'm like, okay, well, one, when he touched his face, he moved his hair, so fuck off. Also, two, I go, then that whole scene is meaningless.
So-
that is Kylo Ren using a memory in his brain to forgive himself for
Right.
killing his dad. It means dick all.
No,
It's
it
so
just means
dumb.
he's more psycho than everyone.
He's insane.
See,
He's lost
now
his mind.
here's something though that you could take from it. Just I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
I'll bear with you, sure.
So Leia goes and lays down and basically dies or whatever
Sure.
to communicate to him, except she doesn't fade away until he does. So maybe she connects herself to him through the Force.
Okay.
And in doing so, she's the one putting Solo there. So that
Then
he
it
can
should have
see
just
him.
been her. You should have just popped her face and done an adult deep fake on some body and had her do it then.
Yeah.
And say, I forgive you for killing my husband. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, it's so dumb and it doesn't make
Right.
sense. You should have just killed off Leia right off the bat. It should.
And it's also like for a series that is really just pushed all the guys to the wayside.
Oh, and see,
it-
and this is where
this is where it's like you get your father-son moment rather, but it's like really
too little, too late, and the context is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and it was the discussion of bringing back old characters. We want old characters back because they're good actors and we want to see them and they're alive. How often do you get the opportunity to do this?
Yeah.
But instead of bringing them back to like give them like a, hey, we're going to pass the torch kind of moment, you just fucking killed them and like dismantled their characters and then never put them in a
I
room
wonder if they
together.
would have killed Leia if she wouldn't have died in real life.
No, the whole plan was for her to finish the entire
Finish it up.
series. Well, because she's a woman. That was the point. I'm not kidding you. That was like the point of everything was to dismantle
Well, then do you
these
think
male
if
characters.
you think if she was still alive, like Carrie Fisher,
Yeah.
they would have kept her character alive through the entire trilogy, and then ended up killing
Luke?
no
How much they did.
no oh, what is his character's name? The guy they brought back for the third one.
Creamy Sheev? Palpatine?
No. Billy Dean's character.
Billy D. Williams? Well, the rumor is that
Did I say Billy Dean or Billy D? I don't know what I
think
just
you said Billy Dean, and I'm like, sure, I'll follow you. The rumor is that in an original cut, Chewie and Lando died in the Millennium Falcon. It exploded. So
they
were
just couldn't kill everybody because she died. They were like, okay, let's not.
They were
kill
trying
everyone.
not to. Well,
know?
and then Jana was supposed to be his daughter. That's why there's that awkward thing at the end. But they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's probably racist and bad and would make no sense.
I mean,
why
she
he just
is in
gave
the
up looking.
comics, I think I heard,
Sure.
or a game or something.
Um,
Maybe that's gonna be a spin-off Disney Plus show. Who knows?
Mm.
Otherwise, why put that in the fucking movie?
I'll throw this out here. This is really fun. Do you know infamous badass character ever? Because this is what fucking Raylos and weird ass fucking idiots who like these movies. Kylo Ren's like one of the best characters in the saga. You know what his final words were? In the entire trilogy. His final words.
Kylo's?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Take a guess. It's something cool. You think he said anything neat?
I love you. The force be with you.
It's ouch.
Yeah.
He when he goes back to Exegol to help Rey, he has to
And
do
I
this
put
big
all this,
jump.
just so we're clear, too. I put all of this on the fucking writers, not the actors, because the actors just do whatever the fuck
No,
they're told.
actors are fine. Actors are fine. I honestly don't even completely hate Daisy Ridley, like at all.
I wonder
We all-
how many of these like newer actors are actually going to go off and do something.
Oh,
Because
they'll all
out of
be
the
fine.
original series, who went left? Harrison Ford. Mark
Daisy
Hamill got more voice stuff, and
Yeah,
he
he'll
didn't
be
do a whole
fine.
lot of acting and stuff.
And he
like
doesn't
that.
really need to. Daisy Ridley's the only one who's gonna probably be fucked over.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think John
she's-
Boyega. Well, he's had a career before,
Yeah,
so it
and
didn't
he'll be
matter.
fine. If Pacific Rim had done better, I think he'd have a lot more staying power. But people like him.
Yeah,
People just like him as a person, so they'll
person.
cast him. Oscar Isaac,
who's that?
he's
one?
been in shit. He was Poe.
Okay.
Dude, he was already like famous for like Ex Machina and shit. And he's already been in flops. Like he was Apocalypse. You know, it's like he'll be fine.
He was
He's
Apocalypse
yeah, he was the Blue Man.
in the X-Men.
Yeah.
Really?
Everything you
Wow.
will fall. Yeah, he's been in some. But I mean, look at Michael Fassbender, dude. He does
Yeah.
shit constantly, but people like him because he's talented.
I mean, Will Smith has done a lot of shit stuff too, and look at him. He's still making.
That's what I'm saying. Jamini, man, that was good stuff.
The Rock is making anything they pay him to be in, and he
Real
still
talk.
it doesn't matter.
If Hobbs and Shaw didn't kill him, he'll be fine.
I don't want to get into that right now, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
did, yeah. We'll wait.
But no, yeah, he jumps a pit and lands on a big chain and goes, ouch. And then he never says another word.
He doesn't
Until he
say
dies.
anything to her before they kiss, or when he
Nope.
brings her back to life.
Nope.
Or he doesn't say anything to Leia when he hears his mom's voice. Doesn't he hear his mom's voice, right?
That was before he went to Exegol.
Okay.
She was already dead by then. Nope. His last piece of actual dialogue was ouch.
Yeah. Did you like the boy band fight they had? Where he was in his like baby Gap shirt.
Oh, you mean when? Yeah, I love it. He was in a black T-shirt and sweatpants. It was just like why?
Was it a t-shirt or a sweater? I thought it was a black
It looked like
sweater.
It looked like a long sleeve sweat.
Like a
t-shirt.
pirate shirt.
It looked fucking dumb. Oh no, my favorite is he comes down. He's got a blaster in his hand, right?
yeah.
And he fucking shoots a dude, and then he like no looks a guy.
Yeah.
Then we cut back to Rey with Creamy Sheev looking at her, going, "She will draw her lightsaber," and I'm like, "Why are we doing this? This
Right,
is
right,
retarded."
right.
But then anyway, we cut back because Kylo ran into the Knights of Ren, which, god damn it.
So
So the Knights of Ren were supposed to be cool. They're not cool, by the way. They have like hammers and axes and shit like it's the medieval times.
yeah, they look like they should be villains in The Witcher.
But we're not even sure that they even have force powers because we never see them use them. So Kylo has a fucking blaster.
So are the Knights
and
of
the
Ren?
Force.
Are they supposed to be the guys that ran off with Kylo?
Doesn't matter. That's never explained.
Yeah.
Does not matter. So I'm not even gonna get into it because it doesn't matter. My thing is that he runs into him and it's supposed to be this climactic moment where he's gonna have to fight the knights. He has the Force and a blaster against a bunch of idiots with like knives and axes. He's gonna decimate. Hard
Right.
cut back to Kylo surrounded by the Knights of Ren. He no longer has a blaster in his hand. It's just
like,
gone.
It was right when he turned the corner. He doesn't have a blaster.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. He shoots two
He
people.
shoots. He runs. He turns a corner, and he has no blaster in his hand anymore.
And then it's gone.
And I
it's just
feel
gone.
like, dude,
it's because they knew he'd win. They knew they fucked themselves.
They have so many parts like where I feel bad for the actors in these movies because it's like they're screwed over because the script isn't solid, and then the editing just fucks them over too.
Oh, the editing's
maybe he
abysmal,
had
dude.
the blaster when they shot it, and they just CG'd it out of his fucking hand,
or
Which-
they knocked it out of his hand or something. I don't
Right?
know. It was
Like he
just
ran around the corner and JJ slapped.
God, that's what it felt like. It's like, oh, he dropped it. It's fine. Just leave it there.
Oh man.
We'll fix it in post. The whole thing's a nightmare, dude. And I'll just constantly tell people. I just go, look, man. Say what you want about Force Awakens. It tricked you really good. That movie's shit too. Like it's so bad. And the
Force
only reason
Awakens
why-
was a big just nostalgia trip. That's all that one. The trailer alone was just like, look who we got to come back.
Yeah, and then they never share a scene. I'll just never get over that. I just won't. It's just like, I don't care if people think I'm a whiny man-child. I'm like, it would have been really cool to see Han, Luke, and Leia in a room together. It would have been really fucking cool. Just a hug or something. It's
I also
sad.
feel that with these older properties, such as like a Star Trek or Star Wars, or give me a Terminator or something like that, you know.
Doctor Who,
an Alien, a Predator, all these
Fucking
franchises.
Predator,
It's like they get these directors who are known for doing these other things, and like JJ, he's good at directing his TV stuff. He did pretty good in Super 8 that he wrote and directed, I believe.
It was fine.
It wasn't like changing nothing, but it did okay. And fucking even Ryan Johnson, he did really good, I thought, with the one
heard
movie just came out.
I've heard Knives Out's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty
I've heard
good.
It's awesome.
I mean, the script is actually pretty damn solid. So it's
Well,
like
you don't have lore to break.
right, you
make
don't
your
have
own
lore to
shit,
break,
you know?
but you also don't have like a Disney over top of you, and not only Disney, but whoever the fuck was in charge of Star Wars. I don't remember her name.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy, yeah. So
Her and Bob
then
Iger are
she's
gonna
the
go
person
down.
that didn't Lucas put her in charge, thinking she would keep everything like secure.
No, she was already had the position, and she
Okay.
just kind of helped make everything happen. Man, they're
not
gonna go down.
happen.
They're gonna go down in infamy, man. Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy. There's a good chance you might start seeing the slow dismantling of the Disney brand.
It's kind of interesting though that the 5 Star Wars movies that Disney has put out, the 3 trilogy, Rogue One, and Han Solo, or Solo, the underdog story or whatever. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
It's a Solo story, I think, or Star Wars story. Solo Star Wars story.
The underdog story sounds cooler. Oh no, that's fucking dodgeball.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But like out of those, the only one that is like a decently solid movie is Rogue One, and it's not dealing with any of the OG characters. You know, it's not going back and retconning stuff necessarily.
Yeah.
It's not like trying to show you your new characters as old grumpy guys or anything like that. It's just like this
There's
is
nothing
it. This is the
egregious.
movie. Here we go. We're not even showing you that these people have the Force in them. You know, they're just like know that the Force is a thing. And
It was just kind of bland.
yeah,
It was fine.
It was okay,
It's-
but it also didn't get so much hate as all these other ones because
It's because
they're
it doesn't
fucking
ruin
with
shit.
everything.
It doesn't ruin shit.
Like
And
even Mandalorian, you get shit in there. Like
Yeah.
it's like there was one episode that I really liked, just the style of it because it reminded me of Hercules. And
Kevin Sorbo? Hercules?
yeah, Kevin
Okay.
Sorbo Hercules, yeah. But then they come to find out they just ripped it from some samurai story. Anyways,
Of course I did.
I think it was like episode 4 or 3 of Mandalorian when they're on like another planet and they meet the one chick from Deadpool.
Oh yeah, and they have to kill the ATST.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst episode that I think they have. I think it's the worst episode in the show.
I liked it.
Oh man,
just
it's
because it gave me the vibes of Hercules. I was like, this is so Hercules.
It's where I literally stopped watching the show.
Yeah.
And this was where we were talking about the binging. I was like, I would have finished it if it all came out. I would have just finished it.
Yeah.
4 was the most egregious episode that I'm just like, I'm done.
Let me see if that was the one.
It was the one with Gina Carraro. Yeah, it was with Gina Carraro, and they're in the little. They have like the Mulan-esque, cheesy, teaching people to fight with sticks, and we're gonna lure the ATST into the water. And blow it up.
Yeah.
There's like 5 different problems in that completely break the show, and I'm like, okay. I was already on the fence after episode 2, and then it just got dumber. It got really dumb.
If you watch it again, just humor me and go back and watch it, and then go back and just pick a random episode of Kevin Sorbo's Hercules show. It's straight up just it.
I get it. What it is. It's kung fu. It's random.
Well, that one is that's based on there.
Random guy shows up,
saves.
World,
there's a problem. He helps them,
people,
saves it, and then dips out.
Yeah. I like that idea. That's what I thought this was going to be. I thought it was essentially going to be have gun will travel with Star Wars. And man, they introduced Baby Yoda, and it's like, nope, that turned into like babysitting.
Yeah.
And now
Adventures in Babysitting 2.0.
But see, my biggest thing, I'll give you my 3 biggest problems. 1, he leaves the kid
with random people too.
It's like, here's some money. And then she doesn't even actually pay attention to him. The baby ends up outside to have the funny drink the tea thing. It's like, Mando from episode 1 would have went back in that bar and been like, bitch, give me back my money. You didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And like, Baby Yoda could have been eaten by that cat thing on the ground. Like, he's so nonchalant.
Yeah, because that's before they even show like he has the Force, right? Is that before?
No. Second episode was, they've already established it. But even then, I don't care. Because this is actually the episode after he rescued him from giving him back from the bounty.
Right.
So then you have that. That's all just the way he treats his relationship with Baby Yoda is insane.
I just hope they don't fuck it up with the second season, like give his race a name and all that.
It's probably going to be much worse.
They're going to cut him open and there's going to be a bunch of Baby Yodas inside.
Yeah, like a fucking spider. So then you have that. And then when Gina Carano's character comes after him and starts kicking the shit out of him, fucking hilarious, dude. That she's punching the shit out of him, which sure, why not? But she literally hits him with her fist so hard, it unplants his feet and drives him into the ground by hitting his helmet. Then, which has been taking blaster bolts and all this kind of crazy shit, and, obviously Beskar armor is supposed to be insanely amazing. Then she punches a piece of wood and goes, ow. You, what? Okay, sure. Whatever. Fine.
I think because people in movies and shows forget that armor hurts too if you hit it. It's
or
not
that
just like
armor's
hitting a
supposed to be
person.
effective.
But maybe the filmmakers like forgot because you never see his fucking face, so it's just like,
oh, Mando kind of forgot. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Game of Thrones. So then you have Mandalorian spends fucking minutes talking to this chick who for some reason he thinks he's gonna forsake his guild and stick here. Like the show's trying to tell us like there's potential he'll actually stick around,
right?
Which is absurd. That is absurd. But fine. He tells her the lore of his people that if I take my helmet off in front of someone and they see my face, I can never put it back on. Literally does that. Less than 30 seconds later, what does he do? He took it off in front of a window with a bunch of people. All the kids are playing with Baby Yoda, and he puts it in the window. The helmet is in the window, so you could have your cool shot. Any one of those kids could have turned around and seen his ugly ass face. Or what's her face could have been, oh, hey, by the way, I forgot. Oh, no. So, yeah, awesome job, guys. I totally believe that taking his helmet off is a big deal. And now the final one, because the ATST stuff's insane. There's no way any of that should have worked. The ATST should have just sat there and blew the village to shit. Also, he has a spaceship. with big cannons on it. Just gonna throw that out there. Pretty sure his ship would have been perfectly fine to blow that up.
Was his ship being worked on at that time or no? That wasn't
his
an
ship
episode
was
where it
fine.
was being worked on. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. My favorite is the idea that he's going to leave Baby Yoda behind at that place.
Right.
Because he doesn't know that fobs exist. The thing that literally takes you to your bounty. And he just was told the episode before that every single bounty hunter has been given a fob. Are you fucking kidding me? It's retarded, dude. This show doesn't care about its own stuff. I'm like, I don't care about the overarching stuff about the lore of the movies because I'm like, it's a sideshow.
Right.
Disney can't fucking make anything decent lately. So I'm like, as long as this show I can just watch it in a self-contained thing, fine. It can't even stay consistent with its own fucking rules within episodes of each other. It's insanity. And I just go, I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. It's like watching Batwoman. People just make mistakes constantly for no reason, no consequences. It's all lame.
Right.
But I'm not bitter. It was just because I really liked it, and I hate things that get me in and make me feel stupid for
Like you
defending
learned
it.
like the first couple episodes or something, or
I really liked the first one.
yeah.
The second one was a little rough. I didn't like what was potentially happening, which then they followed through with. So
Well, the first one's just to get you in, anyways. It's just like
Yeah,
boom,
but-
and then that's
but-
it. That's the end right there.
I can't say this enough. It gave me Firefly vibes.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
And I thought that was the route they were going. It was
Well,
just
yeah, it
gonna
was
be,
very Western-like right there, like
yeah,
the
it
whole
was gonna
thing.
be again. Have gun will travel.
And I think
Kung Fu,
that's
Hercules,
the first,
Xena.
The first episode's the only one Favreau directed, I believe.
I believe so.
He
show
did
ran
he did
the rest.
create Baby Yoda though. He did admit that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all his idea.
I'm fine with Baby Yoda.
Which-
It's just
I just don't
Force
want them to
powers in the second episode?
overuse Baby Yoda. They overuse it.
Exactly.
And when something's not like going right in the story, bam, shot to Baby Yoda playing with something.
That's
And it's
100%
like,
what it is.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
It's-
really give a crap about it at all. Like
I have
it's
faith.
just like
because it's not good.
let it go. They're gonna ruin it next season as soon as they get into more of the lore of
might.
Yoda or Baby Yoda.
Well, if Kathleen Kennedy gets fired, maybe creative choices
But
will be switched around.
Favreau's is he the showrunner?
Mhm.
So hopefully, he's pretty decent at listening to fan.
He's
things,
all right.
So
yeah, he's fine. I mean, he made Iron Man. Like, let's give him a break.
and he started
and
the
Dave-
MCU. I think that's why.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he got.
Exactly.
this.
And he's in cahoots with Disney. He just did Lion King that made like a bill.
And the Jungle Book.
And Jungle Book. Dave Filoni is also a part of it, who he's done like a lot of writing, I guess, for like the Clone Wars, which are pretty well accepted.
You can write this how they're doing it. Just cut it tighter, make it tighter, do something, tighten it up.
I no.
Yeah,
I-
I get what they're trying to do, but
You
it's-
have to cut full episodes out, dude. Like
Yeah.
we're talking like you pretty much could have turned this into a 2.5 hour movie and called it good, and you would have lost half of the stuff that people liked about it.
But action figures, John. We need more Mandalorian action figures, which I don't see on the fucking shelves, which is
Look,
stupid.
on the superficial side, it's insane. Like I thought the character designs were good. I thought the sets were brilliant. It felt good. It just once you watched an episode more than once, you go, oh yeah, oh no. And again, it's one of those things where I don't like feeling like I'm stupid for defending something. And that's what the show did. It made me stupid for defending it. It was like the CW. It's like, no, guys, no. I like it because there was like 3 or 4 really good years. And now I'm just finished. No, man. Like, oh, I swear it wasn't always like this.
Right.
And,
Well-
how do you defend that to somebody?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
It's like, look, somebody watches Crisis on Infinite Earths. Do you really think they're going to be like, yeah, I'll go give Arrow 1 and Flash 1 a full try? It's like,
Yeah, no.
oh, man. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's good. I swear.
Hopefully, like if they just started with Crisis and they're just like, oh well, maybe I should finish the last 2 episodes of Arrow. Well, don't watch the last episode, and then just watch the last episode of Arrow.
Yeah.
Because the first one was all it was a pilot to Green Arrow and the Canaries, or Arrow and the Canaries, which I mean is fine, but you didn't need to put that right there. You could have done that as its own thing later.
It should have been its own pilot episode on the app.
Right. We didn't need it to be one of the last 2 episodes of Arrow.
No, you know why?
Sucks,
you know why they did that is because they know it sucks. They know it's terrible.
Well, no, it looks interesting. Like it looks like a Charlie's Angels like wannabe type thing, which is kind of fun.
But
leave it at that. That's how I look at it.
But seeing what its foundations and what it's built on, I just don't like it.
But did you watch that episode?
I've only watched like a lot of their action stuff.
Right.
I don't really care about
like their foundation. There's built on the Arrowverse, the Arrow show, but it's also the characters come, which is weird because they make the characters come from the past. So the characters are based in that time, like, and then they're in this one. So yeah, it's really interesting to see how like that might evolve.
They 100% are going with fuck it. People will watch this.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And just, I don't know if you got far enough in, but it's not really a spoiler.
I don't care.
Or anything.
Go ahead.
But apparently Cisco was able to manifest technology to do what fucking Martian Manhunter can do.
Wow, fuck you. Really?
Yes. And so like, not Dinah, is it? Well, wait, yeah, Dinah Lance. The other Dinah from Earth 2, I think it was, right?
What? Laurel
Lance, yeah. I said Dinah, didn't I? Yeah, Laurel, the Earth from Earth 2. Yeah, Dinah's the detective because she's there too. That's why I got confused. Okay. Laurel from Earth 2, that's gone now. She comes in and she has this thing that she just attaches to the girl and gives her all of her memories back. Arrow's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are we doing this? And then I'm going to spoil this too for you. But they end it with, because apparently in this show, she's dating JJ. In this timeline, she's now dating JJ and stuff. Who was
the black guy?
Yeah, he was the adopted son.
Bronze Tiger or whatever. Michael Jai White's kid.
Was he?
Diggle took in.
Yeah. He was the adopted son that Diggle had.
Yeah, because his actual, like, Diggle's actual kid became the Deathstroke guy, right? Or was it the other way around?
The other way around. JJ became the Deathstroke guy in the other timeline. And so, like, at the end of the episode, someone attacks him, and they put something on him and give him all of his memories back from that timeline. Again, I still question how can you do that because their brains don't have any of those functions that wouldn't work, people, but okay. It's like they literally they should only be able to take in what Martian Manhunter remembers or knew or lived. They shouldn't be able to see all their own shit because it means nothing. Nothing.
Literally that they're at a point where they said fuck it. It's 100% how that went down. They did not care.
Sad.
They wanted to prop up their next season. They endgamed you.
Yeah.
They were more working on the next phase than finishing. Because like the thing with the Cisco making the thing, you know what that reminds me of? Tony Stark figuring out time travel in like 20 seconds and him just randomly being able to make a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Those are the two things for me. It's like Endgame is trash.
The gauntlet from I don't want to get into that, but the gauntlet from that still doesn't make sense because it's not made out of the same
metal.
Yeah, dwarven metal. From the dwarfs, from the star, from
it's insanity.
Why didn't they just use the gauntlet? Like they had the fucking gauntlet.
You're already doing bullshit time travel shit anyway. Why not just do that? Why not just do that to explain it? Oh, here, better yet, how about we just not do time travel?
Or just go back to the guy and have him make another one. It's not like they can't travel in space.
Fucking insane.
They get fucking unicorn or Pegasus somehow, so Yeah. Anyways, back to Star Wars.
Michael, my fucking brain. Well, no, I guess I'll go all the way back to the beginning of the podcast with Star Trek. I go,
yeah.
look, man.
Look, I have
I want
no
Picard. I want
like,
Picard. I want Picard. I want those characters to show up. I don't need them to take this active, like, fucking front. Like, Picard is cool.
Yeah.
And, like, his ideology and stuff is neat. He could have just been a cool liaison. I was telling Hannah, I was like, wouldn't it have been great if just for, like, the first couple episodes, he was just in the vineyard and people were coming to just chat with him?
Yeah.
Like, let's just have a chat. And then they have to go off and do a thing. You know, like he's fucking Nostradamus or something. Like they
feel that's how
him.
it's going to end up turning into, because he's not doing a lot of stuff. He himself can't do anything. I mean, the dude's almost 90 years old, right? But like, I feel like he's going to be like he was sitting on the bridge of a ship, and like everyone else is going to do all the hard work.
I don't even know if I want him in the ship.
Well, they're going to be in the ship. I saw the fucking commercial for it.
I mean, that's what they're going to do because they have no talent and they don't know.
Because he has to say, engage.
Or make it so. Fucking make it so.
But as long as, you know, they're already making a second season, so fuck me with that. Like, can we finish the first season before you get... the one thing I hope is they have a complete story that they want to tell. Already laid out for season 1, season 2. Hopefully they ended at season 2. We only get 2 seasons. That's all we should really need if they do the story nice and tight. Maybe 3, depending on what the story is they want to tell. I also feel that, again, like I said in the last cast, they need to have all these lessons that Q was always telling Picard when he was by himself with Picard, you know, to come into play. They don't even need Q to show up. I get it, getting the actor to come back. He looks older, and Q's not supposed to age. Whatever. But they could always play it off as something else, too.
You know,
you can de-age him. They could play it off as something. And then I really hope, because they have the robot that has, like, apparently Data's DNA or some bullshit in it, like his memory stuff, his daughter, as they call it. I hope they don't try and bring Data back using B4's body, because it looks just like Data. I'm like, that would be very cheapening of what Data did in the movies, of giving his life, sacrificing his life for everybody else. Yeah. So I hope they don't do that. And with the dream shit that they keep doing, well, they did in the first episode, I should say. It's like, can we get past this stuff?
How about no?
Like,
how about a big no?
Just like get past the dream stuff. Like, I get it. You want to show that he. I hear people saying like it makes it seem like he was in love with him, which kind of is funny when you watch the show. He wasn't.
Yep.
But
you don't know what Saturday nights are like for people, man.
Well, also you don't know what happened to Picard after Data died. So it's kind of like, I'm sure one
Data's
of those
got a
things.
really good vibrate function, dude.
Right. He just opens up. And I mean, he can Data. Mimic voices and shit. So
see, even better, man. See, we are finding very, very strong implications for why that would actually work.
There we go.
I don't know, man. I fear for you. I hope it stays good.
The one thing that worries me the most is already like Picard was always about life, living, and all that shit, right? In the shows and stuff, and like you got to do the better thing and stuff like that. Even like in the
preserve life,
right? Preserve life and live, and even in Generations, the movie where he and Kirk met together. You know, Kirk told him, you know, don't do this, this, and this type of thing. And, like, he took that into his aspect and shit. But then, like, they have this line in the show where he says, I haven't been living, I've just been waiting to die. It's like Picard wouldn't have been doing that. Again, though, it has been 20 years, so I'm not sure. That's the one thing that sucks when you bring these characters back is you don't know what's happened to them within that 20-year period.
And that's
that can
and
make them bitter or happier or suicidal or whatever.
But you know what makes it funny is you could actually do that. You could tell that story, but that's not what they're interested in doing. They're interested in bringing him back as a set piece. And
you know how they could do it?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's not dead by the end of this series.
Oh no, he won't. Oh, by the end of the series? Probably.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Why not? Give his life for something. Maybe he becomes
fuck off.
Maybe he becomes part of the continuum with Q.
Yeah, cool. He can become part of the Force. God fucking damn it. Like, why is everybody so fucking unoriginal that they have to kill our characters? Like, can't people just retire?
I just want them to leave.
I served my purpose.
I feel the Picard show is going to lead into a very good books, actually. In the book, it was really good. I highly doubt they're going to tackle it very good in the show. When the Federation falls apart.
Oh, look at me. I could read.
Ooh, I can read. I can talk. I can watch movies. But yeah, like, because with Discovery going into the future, they're going to be in the future where the Federation is falling apart. It's like no more. So I feel that's what they're going to use Picard for, which kind of sucks because then they're just literally using it to piggyback Discovery Season 3 in or whatever.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So it's a toss-up, and I'm worried for it, but I'm also going to enjoy whatever I can get at the moment. I mean, it's not like I don't have hundreds of hours of shit.
Consume.
Well, no, it's like I have if it's bad, I just have hundreds of hours of material to go back and watch anyways. That's the nice thing with Star Trek. There's hundreds of hours of this shit I can go watch. With Star Wars, there's only a limited amount of hours.
Sure.
Yet, right now, until they fuck you guys over more.
They're trying to get there.
This is nice though because we both have like you're hurt from the Star Wars stuff.
Oh, my soul!
But you're still worried about my little Trekkie thing.
Look, man, I don't.
And
like
don't worry. I see. I can see when there's bad storytelling in there. But I can still enjoy what I can get at the moment.
Dude. Okay, so.
Hopefully we get better writers.
I stopped. That's not gonna happen. I stopped with Doctor Who.
Season.
We're just gonna say the 50th anniversary episode.
Which was when was that?
It was when Matt Smith, David Tennant, met up, and they created a war doctor, who was John Hurt, brilliant actor. Look him up. He's fucking fantastic.
So wait, how many doctors was in this episode then? Like 3?
It was just those three. It was just those three, and then then they did this like big like end of like they were like ending the War of Gallifrey, their home planet or whatever.
Right.
Which if I highly recommend you watch it. If you like Star Trek, you'll probably like Doctor Who.
Okay. We'll see.
I started with the Eccleston stuff and moved on, and I liked it from there. But my girlfriend has like the lore. I watched some of the old movies. I don't really care. They're kind of slow. But some of the episodes are fun. So what happens is they all meet up because they're trying to stop Gallifrey, the War of Gallifrey, from like destroying all of existence or something. I can't quite remember, but John Hurt's doctor is this random doctor that we'd never seen before, and we found out about him. So when we found out there was 13 iterations of him or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So then when he turned, and bear with me, people, it's been a little while because I gave up on Who a couple years ago after the 50th. They started talking about how the doctor has a 13 regeneration cycle. When he's about to become mortally wounded or whatever or die, he regenerates. And apparently you can only do that like 13 times and then you die, like for good. So I guess they decided to introduce him having cycles so he could do it again.
Right.
Just to keep him going. Sure, why not? I don't really care. That's fine. Problem being, now we have Jodie Whittaker, which female doctor. I'm one of those guys. Sorry, call me a misogynist. I don't give a shit. I don't like it. I think it was stupid. I think it was.
Now,
a really
who's the
poor
actress
choice.
that they picked? Did they pick Is it
was
a British actress?
It was
of
Jodie
course.
Whittaker. That's her
Okay.
name.
Okay.
Who plays the 13th or 14th Doctor or whatever. And she's awful. I don't know if she's technically a bad actress, but she's got really horrible storylines. It was kind of what Peter Capaldi was dealing with. Peter Capaldi's a fine actor, but man, they just gave him nothing to work with.
Oh, she was in Attack the Block. Yeah, I remember her.
So she's a fine actress. Whatever. Her doctor's awful. Her sonic screwdriver looks like shit. But anyway.
I don't know what any of that means.
No, it's fine. Fucking nerds will know what I'm talking about. Well, there was just an episode that just torpedoed lore into the fucking oblivion. Mm-hmm. And now I'm upset. And it's pathetic because, again, I gave up at the 50th anniversary, which was roughly 4 years ago or something like that. Like, I literally have not been following it because I hate the direction they went in. And then we're talking like Peter Capaldi came after the 50th. So, like, I'm not a complete misogynist. I didn't leave because Jodie Whittaker was the doctor. I left because the show sucked.
It's not misogynistic. It's just you found that the story wasn't good. I hate that people use that term way too often now just because something's not good. Because a certain sex or a race or something is the lead.
Oh, I'm
It's
actually
stupid.
fine with it because it shows me your IQ immediately.
That's like saying
when they
if,
say
if
something
my
like that.
wife doesn't like one of my action movies with all men in it, she's a misogyn.
She hates men.
Misandry. That's what it is. Misandry.
She's a fucking overt feminist who doesn't care about
No,
men.
misandry is the opposite of misogynistic. It's
Oh, there you
like
go.
dislikes of
Did you just Google
men.
that?
No, I Googled it earlier.
Okay.
Because I kept seeing people talking about misogynistic guys. I'm like, there has to be a word for this for against guys, like women too, right? Or people in general.
But so apparently in their last episode, the doctor shows up and runs into another doctor who is a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then proves the idea that there was a regeneration cycle of all female doctors before the very first doctor. So you literally just completely retconned
So
everything.
So was this other doctor? Was she an actual doc? The other girl was an actual doctor.
She's casted. She's on the screen. She's running around with them.
So how many doctors are allowed in these episodes? I thought there was only one doctor. And
There
that's
was
it.
supposed to be one. There was a weird thing that happened with the 50th to make it work.
So are they gonna
'Cause
make
it-
these two doctors lesbians for each other?
Fucking why not? Fucking just.
No, it's not a CW show.
They'll
Never
be
mind.
they'll be fucking scissoring through all of time and space, just making like a fucking pair of shears.
Baby
I'm sorry,
doctors
people. That was-
everywhere. That's
that was
wrong.
awful. I want to die. It's so awful that like people just don't fucking respect this stuff. And it's funny because
Now, did they ever do that before with
No.
any of the other iterations of Doctor Who? They never, besides the anniversary, of course.
They tried. Well, they made the Master, who's like a Time Lord like him. The
Okay.
Doctor is part of a race which is called Time Lords, and the Doctor is kind of like his mantle, like his name that he picked. And there's a guy called the Master, who's like his foil. And rumor was, well, they turned her into a woman first, or turned him into a woman first,
Okay.
to lay the foundation for it to be okay, which it's still not. Fuck off. But there is stuff in the lore that said that they could potentially turn into a woman, but it's like extremely rare.
But now, is this now the retcon that you're talking of? Did it turn the very first Lord into a lady, if you will?
So,
or did it just turn the Doctor that we've known?
the very first actor who was the Doctor, the very
Okay.
first guy, is no longer the first Doctor.
Okay.
He would essentially be number one of a second regeneration cycle.
Multiverse, basically.
Nope, same
No?
timeline.
Same timeline.
Same
everything?
timeline. So
So basically, kind of like what they did with John Connor in the new Terminator.
Maybe
They just cut him, and then now it's the other girl because it's a different future too, but same timeline because you can't really go back in time.
No, it's literally like it's literally like just saying like this character showed up and said, "Hey, there's a whole history book that wasn't written before this guy." And now you've learned all the information. Still the same world, still the same time, still the same everything. It's just we didn't have this prior information before.
It's like going back in time and finding out, oh, Jesus wasn't his name. It was Jezebel. And now she's a girl.
Or I would say, God wasn't the first God. There was a God right before him, and he dissipated.
Goddess.
And then this new God showed up.
Goddess.
A goddess created the universe, and God just kept it going afterwards, after she dissipated or something like that. It's probably the best analogy I can give you. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fucking dumb. It's cheap. It's lazy.
I don't understand why they have to go back and redo all these things.
Because women are better than men, Michael.
I know that, but still, I mean, I'm not going to deny my wife is better than me.
Yeah,
or not.
fair enough.
Shit.
Yeah, my wife. Sorry, my girlfriend's way better than me anyway.
So I mean, and my mom,
just because I'm a bad example of my gender does not make my gender shitty.
But like, I feel that it's just bad writing to catapult into what's going on in society.
Just make your own fucking shit. Stop ruining our stuff.
In that case, you might as well have, because it sounds like, again, I haven't seen the show and I don't know jack shit about it, but from what you're describing, it's just like they started a brand new show. They should just call it something completely different.
Or they recontextualize 50 years of history. Like, why?
Well, no, they
Why
could
bother,
have. They
though?
could have started a whole new show. You still have Doctor Who, and then whatever you want to call her, the Doctor she. I don't know.
Yeah. They had
whatever.
They
But
had
it's
their
like,
fucking chance.
Have
they had
it. You can have them running side by side now. I mean, you had Buffy, and then Angel sprouted off from that.
They're stupid, dude.
You had
They
Hercules
had
and Xena sprouted off from that. Like, come on, like just do that. They didn't like turn Hercules into Shirkules or something,
Nice. I appreciated that. Thank you. Fucking in David Tennant's run, there's this point where I think they like cloned him or something, and they made a half human, half doctor. Who was the girl, really hot girl, by the way, who ended up becoming David Tennant's wife in real life, who was actually, I believe, the daughter of a former doctor as well, which is pretty cool. An actor who...
I mean, almost every guy over there played Doctor Who, right?
Pretty much at this point, right?
Every actor.
It's like their Joker.
Everybody and their brother, and now mother.
But her character, it's like she could regenerate, and she was like half human, and she just flew off, and we never heard from her character again. It's like you could have done a spinoff with her being a female type doctor. It would have been great.
Now, has there ever been like an alien doctor, or is it always like a human?
Time Lords are aliens.
Okay.
Time Lords are a race. They just look like humans.
Okay.
From Gallifrey. Which is their home planet, which was destroyed. And because they had this big time war with Daleks, you've seen them, the trash can guys. They're like, exterminate. They were essentially the back and forth, the good and the bad or whatever. And they both could manipulate time, and they got into the thing called the Time Wars, where it almost destroyed all of existence.
When did they do that? What decade?
Oh my God.
Back in the the 60s?
This is like beginning of lore, dude.
Okay,
like
they're from the 70s, right? Or 60s?
Oh, dude, try like the 60s and 50s. They're like
is it?
The 50-year anniversary was like 5-6 years ago, so
okay.
Math.
1963.
There you go.
So they were they started right when Trek started.
Pretty much.
Like Trek, I believe was 63, 64.
You could argue Doctor Who is BBC Star Trek.
Doctor Who was 3 years before the original series of Star Trek started.
Boom, get fucked.
So there we go.
But like I said, it's a lot more goofy because you have time travel issues. But it is really just meant to be a fun, wild ride. So when they actually do connect things and like play with weird time shit, you just kind of let it go because they've been doing it for so long. You're like, whatever.
Right.
It's really fun though. I enjoyed it a lot. I do like some of the older Doctors, but man, it's kind of like Buffy. Like some seasons are complete shit, but some are just like some of the best television you could ever watch. It just feels really, it just hurts to see these people get these jobs writing the stuff that you can tell either they know nothing about or could not give a shit about.
Right.
And it brings me back to your point with Star Trek where you're talking about people aren't around Gene Roddenberry.
Mm-hmm.
I would make the argument on behalf of people who really love this stuff and like to write. And,
oh, yeah.
I think that's shitty to say because
It's
I guarantee you there are fanfic writers out there right now, dude,
So-
that would kill to write for this show
There-
and would do an incredible job.
There are tons, I will admit this, there are tons of fanfic writers, and I've seen the movies, the fan films, that do Trek better than CBS is ever going to do it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong. You know,
Or you're watching Orville, from what I hear.
No. No, they're actual fan films because they get like the actor who played Tuvok and Voyager and all
okay.
that shit. Like they get actors from
Oh, wow.
the franchise to play roles in their movies and stuff.
Okay, that's awesome.
There was even one that had Roddenberry's wife voice the computer, which she voiced the computer in all the series too.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah. So that was kind of cool to see. But they have to abide by like a fucking 90s thick yellow phone book full of rules if they want to do these movies. Like they're not allowed, of course they're not allowed to make any money. But CBS has like strict rules for all this shit to like abide by. And it's like, okay, if you're going to be like that and be dicks like that, when like there was one that was really good and CBS was trying to stop them from putting it out. They finally were able to put it out and stuff and didn't make jack shit money on it because, of course, CBS was dicks about it. And they put a lot of money into it. And it's like, okay, you see that they're doing something good. The actors see that they're doing something good. Why not hire these people to do what you want to do and make some good content? Either that or you just really don't want to make good content.
I love you. I was sitting here seething in my brain about something that's been bothering me since Game of Thrones, the dismantling of Game of Thrones. And you fucking nailed it, man. This proves how fucked up Hollywood is and this weird nepotism, inclusionary bullshit where you just give jobs to your friends. That's why I'm like, all this diversity, inclusiveness. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Can we just have people who give a shit about stuff? Like passion.
Right.
Passion creates the best art. I don't care what anyone says. And
art has usually been like the most like art in the general, not like movie
just in
business.
general.
In general,
Painting or
art is
books
made
or-
for everyone pretty much. And in general, it has never been about what gender or race and shit like
art
that
is being made to express what the artist's passion is. Regardless, if you're not the demographic, then don't look at it. You don't care. It's not for you then.
Yeah.
It's for whoever wants to see it. But just because, like, when you take something that was beloved by a small group of people and then try and twist it into this thing that it's not to appeal to everyone, then it appeals to no one.
Right.
It's too smart for the dumb masses, and now it's too dumb for the original fans. And now you have this.
Are you
horrible
talking about Star Trek, John? I think you're
Star
talking
Trek,
about
Star
Star
Wars,
Trek.
Doctor Who, Terminator.
It is one thing
Predator.
that almost turned me off to like when they did the 2009 Star Trek movie, J.J. Abrams' first spit at. It's like I went in there, I was like, oh, I'm going to see a new Star Trek movie in theaters. It's going to be so cool. And I was like, where's the science? Where's the talking?
Where's the talking?
Where's what? where's the character development? Because like it's like they're like, well, you already know these characters, so we don't have to develop Bones and Kirk and Spock.
But it's like I don't know these characters. They're different people.
Yeah, they're
playing these characters.
Well, not only are they different actors, but that is literally a different universe now, like different timeline.
Even worse.
It's like I don't know shit about these people. Like fucking Spock's hooking up with Uhura, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's insane. And I don't get it, because put your fucking best foot forward, man. YouTube is essentially a highlight reel for up and coming artists. You literally, as an executive, wouldn't have to pay to fly them out to audition them, wouldn't have to go through the rigmarole of getting emails and bullshit.
Yeah.
You would just go to a YouTube channel and go, this guy has been, there's a great website, YouTube creator called Alt, A-L-T, Shift X. And he pretty much just lives in the world of Westeros in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
The guy literally reads the books, and like, this is one of those dudes that you look at it, like you look at his videos and stuff. He goes, this guy cares more about this world and its history than real world history ever. And
Right.
but it's really cool. And the guy like theorizes on the 50 different ways this character could go off and do this and do that and do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's fan theory. Yeah, but there's like 50 of them, because he knows the characters so well. He's like, if he interacted with this person, this is probably how the timeline would go. If he interacted with this, if this kingdom did this, it would make sense that the whole world would suffer like this. And it's like, that guy's been doing it since the books.
Mm.
And then he
like
does
he studied
extra
the
stuff.
books and then went into all
He
the
lives
other
it.
stuff.
He's
Yeah.
essentially a historian. He is a fucking fictional world historian. And why are you not hiring this guy to be on set and helping you write? Like,
it's like they
it's
only
insane.
get the people like and it sucks because it's like if you don't live in LA, they don't give a
Exactly.
shit. They
Why
don't
bother?
care. Like even though half the stuff isn't even shot in LA anymore, it's
But
like
you
they
also
don't
have-
care.
but it's a writer. Just
it's a
have
writer.
him-
The writer doesn't. The thing is, they want a lot of these bigger, like CBS or a Disney. They want complete control over you.
Yep.
They want you in a room. They want you to feel like shit while you're writing.
Yeah.
They don't.
wanna
They
say,
want to
"Hey,
be
don't
standing
do
over
this.
you.
Don't do that. Yep.
It's like my clients. If I get a client that wants to sit behind me while I'm editing their video, I'm like, fucking no. That will not. I had one person do it once.
I'm gonna edit your video. I'm gonna show you a rough cut, and if you don't like it, then you need to give me notes.
When I was at one of the studios I was working at, dude, we had a client come in and they wanted to stay there the entire time. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be like 3-4 hours, tops, or a minimum, that I'm gonna be doing this. And they were like, oh, it's fine. I want to stand there. They were standing behind me, literally standing behind me. So what I did was I would go super slow and do a cut, and I was like, all right, what do you want me to do now? After about 20 minutes of that, they left.
That's awesome. No, I remember. I'm gonna wax nostalgic about a old short film I did.
Dun dun
This
dun
was
dun.
I think this was before I met you. I was working with Philip and this guy named Michael Green. A nice guy, super nice guy. It was for 8-Bit Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Really trashy. It was one of those like DIY, do it yourself, once a month group things that our school kind of like pushed you into. Even though you were like super busy with classes, they're like, hey, go find these group of people and like go learn to shoot with other people. And it's like, why am I paying to be at school then?
Was this was in college or
Yeah.
high school? Okay.
It was during college.
Okay.
During our college.
Okay.
time.
Okay. Oh yeah, you said Philip. I thought you were. Never mind. Wrong
Yeah.
people in my head.
Yeah, I got you. That's Isaac.
Yeah.
Those we did over the summer for fucking nothing out of our own pocket for fun. But no, we'd have this meeting every month at the Wing House, which was essentially just a Florida version of Hooters.
Yeah.
And we would all meet and like break into groups. People would pitch scripts, and whoever wanted to work on something it was like dodgeball almost. Like you'd sit there and go, all right, I have this script. Who wants to work on it with me? And everybody'd raise their hand and we'd all get together and work on it. And I had this thing called 8-Bit Hero, where it was just basic. Guy wakes up, goes throughout the day. Shitty things happen to him. And it's like every time something happens to him, it's like a checkpoint. Mm-hmm. He goes down, loses a life, comes back. We're talking like we had like old school, it looked like Zelda framework around it with like 3 hearts and a life bar and energy bar and shit. And so like he would run, somebody'd slam the door on him and he'd get knocked out and he'd lose a life. And then we revert back to a checkpoint. He gets a second chance. And just super nerdy, super fun. But Philip, it was one of the first times I'd met Philip Spann of roosterteeth.com. Great audio mixer, master god. He understood what I wanted to do. So he was like, I really like this idea. I want to help you out. He brought his keyboard over and he did synth music for me because we wanted to do obvious old school 8-bit synth music, like, you know, like old Mario shit. And then I had this editor. I barely edited before, but I knew what I wanted to do. But Michael came, not you, Michael Green came, and he edited for me. And I felt really bad because I did kind of stand by both of them. But really what would end up happening was I had Michael and Philip in the room looking at the footage. And I was like, here, can you cut these scenes and just put these all together? Don't cut the scene, but like, okay, here are all the clips for this scene. Here are all the clips for this scene. Let Philip watch it. He hasn't have it in order yet, but I want him to get the feel.
Yeah.
And then Philip went off into the corner of the room with his keyboard and started doing his stuff. Michael's sitting on the couch editing, and I would just go around and get him. I'm like, you guys hungry? You want something to eat? Like, you want something to drink? I'll clean up for like 5-10 minutes. And if you do something really cool, yell at me. Otherwise, I'll probably just come and look over your shoulder and go, hey, are you going in the right?
It really is just having trust in the people that you're working with.
Yeah. Isn't that the point of being like a director or a producer?
Well,
like,
that's the whole point
talent.
of having a production team. Mm-hmm. There's a team. And again, back to what our like main thing was with the writers, like you said, like, just go out and hire these people that are passionate about this thing, you know? Because a lot of your other writers that they're hiring, you know, they're having like 2 weeks to do research on what they're about to write about. Yeah. And either that or you get like a guy that writes nothing but say comedy stuff. That's all he's done his entire career is comedy. Mm-hmm. And you come and hire him in to do some sci-fi drama and he has no experience about this. Now, you do get writers that can do that, but I'm saying for your most part, it's like, what are we gonna do? Now, the Orville is a complete different story.
I'm gonna stop you there. Let me say there is a difference between changing genres, because writing is writing. Knowing timing, knowing emotional elements, and knowing action beats and all that stuff. Yes. That's fundamental. I'm talking, you are responsible
for the entire franchise.
Universe of character. Fucking franchise my fucking anus, dude. This is a bunch of living, breathing characters in a fictional world that have history.
How do you know they're a fictional world?
Shut up, you're dumb.
Maybe writing them down and putting them on paper has created another universe. That's how we get the multiverse.
I love Pagemaster.
I gotta watch that again.
Fucking great
fucking
film. A. Anyway, no, there's a difference between having this sense of, I need to get out of my own ass. I have to respect the lore and the history, and these characters are developed. These people, I cannot get over this. This is something we've fucking rattled on about for like, well, I did. I always bitch about is that you get to a point with these characters, given whatever show you want, Mr. Nerd, whoever you are, for Mr. Nerd stuff or whatever you like, there's a point where you could put these characters in a room and you know if they say something that doesn't feel quite right, you would notice that. If you look at That 70s Show and Kelso's coming in telling you about astrophysics and shit, either this is a weird joke episode where he hit his head and he thinks he's smart, or somebody doesn't know how to write for Kelso.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a big fucking difference.
You see a lot of that in Hobbs and Shaw. Game of Thrones. I didn't watch that long enough. I stopped. But you see then like Hobbs and Shaw, like the characters were already developed in previous movies, and then they completely change them.
They do. That makes me hate you a little more right now, just on a superficial level of
why?
Because I'm mad at you that you didn't finish Game of Thrones, so you saved yourself heartbreak. While at the same time, Lord of the Rings has been solid for like 20 years and you still haven't watched it, and I hate you.
Well, to be fair, though, I stopped watching Game of Thrones after the first season because I was like, fuck this.
Honestly, the show starts to die about halfway through season 3.
The show died when Stark died for me. That's it.
You're a bad person. That's when the show gets
Stark.
good. That's when it gets really good.
I'm good.
When are you watching Two Towers?
After I watched Witcher season 3.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That
why?
Because season 2 comes out and then season 3.
I'm gonna text your wife right now. Make him watch it. Actually, I don't even think I have her number.
No,
Keep
you
it
don't.
that way, because I'll text her all the time, going, "Fucking make him watch it." So mad at you. How do you
be
know?
like, I
Two
think
Towers
John's
is the best
drunk.
one.
What?
Two Towers is the best one, dude.
We'll get to it. Let's finish this up. How about I'm gonna say something. I want to hear what you think about this. Me saying this.
Okay.
It's something that it's written down. And it has to do with the quote of the day that will be the last thing I say today.
Oh,
but I'm not gonna do the quote right now.
Fucking foreshadow. Nice.
Right.
I like it.
All right, so it's the story has to have enough details and depth built in that it could truly continue like real life does. However, at the same time, enough of those details need to be left out of the story to focus on the plot. Agree or disagree?
One more time. Sorry.
All right. The story has to have enough details and depth built into that it could truly continue as real life does. But at the same time, enough of those details need to be left out of the story to focus on the plot of the story.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the idea of being monotonous and overtly particular to the idea of like it's the argument everybody always has. It's like let's go with Snoke from the new trilogy. I want a backstory for him. I do not understand what this fucking
You got a
character
backstory
was.
in like 2 seconds when you saw him in the tank, man.
Yeah,
Come
when I wanted to
on.
die. But the idea is that that was
He
an
literally
explanation.
made Snoke.
That wasn't an explanation. That was a deterrent. All that did was kick the can a little farther down the road to where now I have 50 other more questions. Honestly, they'd have been better off just ignoring it.
Yeah.
Gone, oh, he's fucking dead. Palpatine's back. Let's move on. So the idea is that
Or that Palpatine was his master, you know, something like
Who-
he didn't have to be a clone.
calm down. For my analogy,
Go ahead.
we're gonna just focus on Snoke. Because I can show you the argument.
He had so much potential in his appearance too. I
Shut
really
up,
wanted to
Michael.
know.
Let me go. Ugh. You never let me talk ever when I talk for
Oh
the
my
entire podcast.
god.
Oh my god, Michael. Ew.
Oh my god, our film student thing from the last podcast made me laugh so hard.
What?
The film student thing we did on the last podcast.
don't
Just out of nowhere.
Oh,
Like that director, oh my gosh, he's so good.
look. I get it. Roger Deakins is God, which after 1917, willing to come back to that conversation.
Ugh. 1917 has like the best cinematography of the year. Like,
oh my god, it has like 4 numbers in it. 1917. Oh my god, so innovative.
That's like my PIN number to my credit card or something.
But seriously, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like on my luggage. Oh my god, why are there so many white men in a world war about in predominantly?
Where's
white
all
men
the
countries?
women in the battlefield? Like, as if
I saw Wonder Woman. There are women in No Man's Land.
there's one.
Fuck off, idiots. Okay, anyway, so to go with the idea of, so essentially what that quote is I'm assuming, I'm going to try and paraphrase, is details and motivations and character development, all that stuff needs to work in a way that it all can be considered linear. And if you stop telling the story, people could actually move forward with these characters in a logical way.
Right.
The difference is that you need enough details for the audience to be able to do that conclusively for themselves, while at the same time not giving so many details that you either lose interest, don't care, or maybe potentially give so many details that maybe you accidentally contradict yourself, maybe just bog something down or confuse people. And the idea is with Snoke, we wanted to know how the fuck is somebody like this running this new order again? Because now we had the prequels.
Yeah.
We had Palpatine. We saw his rise. But even in A New Hope, we didn't need it.
Oh.
We just knew he was the leader.
Don't give them ideas. They'll do 3 prequels to this for no reason.
I know. Which
Disney Plus show Snoke.
Good job, Disney, like constantly killing off Andy Serkis, even though he's probably one of your most talented buys. You always get fucking idiots. But
was he Snoke? Did he play?
Yeah. And so the deal is that we just want to know, how did he rise to power? Where did he come from? Fine. You want a fucking whole movie? You want a whole fucking movie about his back? It's like, no, that's not what I want. I just want to know why. I want to know, why is he in power? Why is Kylo following him? Mm-hmm. And how did the First Order rise after the Empire was literally destroyed?
That's
all.
With how they set him up, it's kind of like I'm not even going to say it's like, but similar to the original trilogy with Palpatine. But you kind of had a backstory even built into that. He was the Emperor.
But see, here's the problem. Because that is one of the arguments I was going to bring up. So that's great. I'm glad you did that naturally. The way it works is there is back history before Snoke that we know about. The back history for A New Hope, we don't have.
Right.
We're given bits and bobs and pieces from the characters and how the Empire came up to be and blah, blah, blah. When we hit A New Hope, that is how the world is.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Emperor, there is the Empire, and then we find out about the Emperor, where Darth Vader...
And we don't find out about him till episode
I think it's
it's
the second one. It's the second one, Empire.
He's not in the first one except for like a little head or a big head.
He's just a hologram.
Yeah.
So Darth Vader just has somebody he answers to. That's it. Hierarchy. Totally easy to accept. We don't care. They are a faction versus the good faction. There is he's the creme de la creme. Vader wasn't the creme de la creme. Creamy Sheev was the creamy creme de la creme. It's the cream of the crop, Gene. And now, when you get to Force Awakens, we had Return of the Jedi. They destroyed the Empire. So now the problem is, what is the First Order?
Right.
We don't know what that is. How would this all come together when Luke, Han, and Leia, Lando, Chewie, all those people responsible for essentially dismantling the original Empire are still alive? And people call them a myth, which is insane. No. You wanted to know. I'm finishing it out. Now, Snoke is literally giving holograms to not only his like first in command, who's not a Sith, but to his quote unquote Sith apprentice, who was trained by Luke. How is all of this happening? How did it get past all of those people who are still in the positions that they're
ask
in?
for that, John. They're gonna give you a show then, and we don't want that.
I don't want the
Just
show.
let it end. Just let it end.
I wanted it explained in the first movie, which didn't happen. And also, let's just throw this out here. Novel idea. How about just let the good guys be in power at the start?
Because
Wouldn't
then
it have
there's
been
no
neat?
rebel alliance.
The
Rebel
Sith
scum.
could have been the rebels. Wouldn't it have been neat to see how Sith train for once? Maybe what a Kyber
Well,
crystal
doesn't he
was?
explain in like the prequels that there's only like one Sith and one Sith?
Yeah,
apprentice
prequels
at
are
a
fucking
time?
dumb. The prequels are terrible. The whole point of the sequel trilogy was to be so good of a sequel to the original trilogy that the prequels would just fade into nothingness. That was the point.
Right.
But then once they realized the second movie fucked everything up, then we started bringing back prequel shit. And then
Instead of
everybody
Snoke,
got
why
this
couldn't it have just
resurgence.
been like Darth Maul or some shit? You know.
Because he died. He got cut in half. Fuck Clone Wars for bringing him back, and fuck Han Solo for bringing him back. When people do not die, there are no stakes anymore.
John, it's space.
They could kill you.
They could do whatever they want.
I'm gonna kill you. If I chop you in half, Michael, in the middle of the street here in New York, you'll die. If I chop you in half in the middle of space, you'll double die.
John,
fuck off.
John, light swords. It cauterized his wounds so he didn't bleed out. He's not a human, so we don't know how his organs truly work. Therefore, space.
Look. You can cauterize my stomach, but if it doesn't work anymore, it doesn't work
But we
anymore.
don't know how his body works. He's
wanna
not
kill you.
human.
Okay, fine. I will give you Darth Maul then. How about that?
There
I'll
we
just
go.
give it to you.
Okay.
Sure. Then why not bring back Snoke? Then why even bother bringing back Palpatine? Just have Snoke be in the fucking
Well, doesn't
tism
Snoke's
chair.
room get blown up though, too?
Who cares? So did fucking Kylo's helmet, but apparently he had enough pieces to meld it back together.
Because JJ was like, "No, fuck you. I want this helmet back." God damn it.
Oh, dude, when Luke Skywalker catches the fucking lightsaber and goes, "It deserves more respect." Oh, excuse me.
Is that what you did in the theaters too? Be like,
No, I
"Ah,
cried."
fuck you."
No, I didn't go to Rise of Skywalker in the theaters because I knew it was
No,
going to
yeah.
be shit. I knew it was going to be a big old bag of ass.
All right, so okay.
So, okay.
Back to
through all
the
that.
point.
Now, my deal is that people would make the argument like, "Oh, we need a whole fucking movie." It's like, no,
We need a
It's not
whole
what we're
show.
it's not what we're saying. You need things to progress logically so that when you do the dumb shit in the world that doesn't make sense, like magic,
This
or
is kind of
teleporting,
with
you need grounding in your story
so
to let us be able to take in the disbelief of the
Right.
magic and robots and nonsense.
Can I say though, this is one instance where if they would have done like a backstory comic, now just bear with me before you
I'm gonna kill you.
bite
But
my
sure.
head off. If they would have done a backstory comic on Snoke to explain like him and how the Empire, is it the Empire or First Order?
First Order.
First Order came into power again. Like how all that happened in the comic, maybe it would have made it less chaotic in the movies because then those directors have a fucking story that they kind of have to stick to. You can't
No.
just bring Palpatine back. You can't just kill this guy for no reason. Shit like that.
No.
You don't think that would have helped keep it a little...
I would go, then don't make the movies.
Well, they shouldn't
I
have made them anyways.
That's also fucking lie. Like, god damn it, dude. Like, this is... I'm kidding. This is that same argument I had.
I feel
Back with,
like
like-
the same way. Okay, here. Even though it was
let me say my point before, because I think
Okay.
you already know my point.
yeah.
But I want to reiterate it to people. We would not be saying this shit if it was tackled correctly. If people who cared about the lore and cared about the characters and wanted these people back, we wouldn't be saying this shit. The problem is that they were so wildly off base that nobody can agree with what's right or not.
Right.
And that is horrendous. I don't understand why Lord of the Rings is essentially beloved, which you haven't seen, so you don't know.
I
Or
don't
like-
know.
Or like old Star Trek, old Star Wars, old shows, man, old Doctor
Well,
Who.
I can say.
I've never seen this discourse like this.
Well, they need to
Since
create
back
new
then.
content. Just stop rehashing the same shit.
But like as a fan, I want us to see a continuation. We had those characters. We had Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. All those actors were alive and they actually wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, no, because he doesn't give a fuck. But he'll show up for a paycheck. But Mark Hamill loves that character. Carrie Fisher enjoys working with those people.
I think Mark Hamill loves almost every character he's ever done, though. Like,
it's because he's also fucking beloved.
yeah.
I mean, why would you not want to return to something that gave so many people joy for like 3 to 4 decades? Just to see a small continuation. I
Because
wasn't asking for...
as Harrison Ford said, I don't care.
Sure. I don't need to see him come back and be this Jedi who like is fucking flipping around like Yoda.
Yeah.
Doing insane
Yeah.
shit with a lightsaber. I want to see Luke Skywalker training some kids going, hey, you know, I failed a lot. And then like shows him his medal's hand and shit. And is like, that's why you need to learn patience and control. And we can teach you how to be a better person. And that's the kind of shit you do in movies with those kind of characters. You let them be the wisdom.
Who wrote these
dispensaries.
movies? Was it the directors that wrote these movies?
I believe so, with like a small team.
Right. Okay.
Rian Johnson wrote and directed Last Jedi. That's why
Yeah.
it's terrible. But like the other ones were like teams of people trying to fix mistakes, and like J.J. Abrams had a lot to do with the first one, but he worked with the guy from Empire, I think. Empire Strikes
Okay.
Back. I can't remember his name. It was just a fucking nightmare, man. Like it's awful, and and people are like, why do you care? Oh, easy, because do I care about the sequel trilogy? Will I ever consider it canon? No, but that's head canon. They exist.
Right. It's there.
That's just how it works. When I watch the OT, I will still love the OT while I'm watching it. But as soon as the credits hit, I go, oh, fuck. Well, he's dead. Well,
Well, don't watch
He's
the
not
other
dead.
ones for another 20 years.
I know, right? Just never see him. I'm just saying, when you recontextualize something like that, it's hard to forget. You know what I mean? Once you find out you're adopted, you don't get to
So,
unfind out that you're adopted,
what I'm taking from this is
that I'm adopted.
if you ever get to a state in your life where you're like just paralyzed from the neck down and you're in a bed,
I'm Superman. Got it.
I'm just going to turn on the new trilogy and make you watch it back to back nonstop for like 2 days.
See, that's where I'd be like, well, I mean,
Maybe you'll get some midichlorians to get your body moving again.
that's where I would be like, I know my dick doesn't work, but man, my life is not as bad as these films. That's awful. That's terrible. You know,
And then
we're
on
on a
top of it, I'll toss in the Hobbit movies for you.
we're on a somber note, so I'm going to kind of keep it.
Yeah.
I hate to do it. It's topical and we need to do it.
Uh-oh.
The
I don't
date
know what this is.
The date is January 29th, 2020.
No. I don't want to talk
believe
about this.
I believe it's been about 3 days. We have to talk about it.
Okay.
We, in the realm of media, pop culture, and obviously particularly sports, we lost a legend unexpectedly. Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash with his I believe, 13-year-old daughter, Gianna,
Yep.
aka Gigi.
Yep.
During a helicopter ride to go to their charity basketball game for the Mamba Academy in Calabasas. And man, I haven't followed basketball since 1997. I was a big Pacers fan.
He's been
And,
retired now for 2 years.
For a
right?
few years. For a few years, yeah. For a few. I don't know how many.
Okay.
But when it comes to sports, you know idols. You see their faces. You see their jerseys.
Well, he's
they're
also
in
done more than
advertising.
just playing sports. He's done a lot for different.
The guy won a
communities and
fucking
stuff like
Academy
that. Yeah,
Award
yeah.
for a documentary, man. I think it's called Dear Basketball. Worked with John Williams, by the way. Well known for Superman, Star Wars, multiple others, but in Star Wars, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Superman, all good stuff. Man, it's rough, especially like with the internet now. You get to see everybody like talking about like personal interactions they had with him, and he seems like a really good dude.
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna start it off because I want to lament with you about him and maybe a potential impact. We have to get it out of the way because people are awful on Twitter. People are awful on the internet. People are just awful.
Okay.
He was accused of some sexual things back in the day, which were dropped, never confirmed, blah, blah, blah. Holy fuck. How awful of a person do you have to be that within like 30 minutes of the news breaking, you're posting about that?
Right.
Calling him a rapist. Are you fucking kidding me?
They're just trying to get on the back end of the news and everything else going on.
But die in a fire. Like,
Right.
go die in a fire.
Like they did the
Like,
same
what
thing.
an awful thing to do.
They did the same thing though when Michael Jackson passed away. They brought up all the child stuff.
It will
I'm
always
sure
be
they
like
did
that.
something when Prince died too. They always find something.
But my
to
whole
do
thing
this
is
with.
like, can we have like a 48-hour window of you not being a piece of shit?
Right. It's like
'Cause they're
also it's like why did you post that? Like literally because like I've seen
Were you gonna be some winner? Like,
Yeah.
did you win a fucking medal for doing that, you dickhead? Because
Like-
don't get me wrong. I read it on Twitter that it happened, that he died.
right.
I looked at Hannah and I go, oh man, that sucks. People are gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
I brought it up but I'm not a fucking horrible monster going, oh yeah, he's a legend, but he's also a rapist. It's like, whoa.
Right.
Not confirmed. Calm down with that.
Actually, the cases were completely dropped.
So, what you're saying is still slander. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, it's libel because they were tweeting it out. So fuck off. I know that because of J. Jonah Jameson.
His
Man,
family
fuck
could.
you.
His family could do
Sue,
something.
fucking do it. Fucking do it, please.
Defamation
hope
of character. Bam.
Any person who did that, I
See,
hope
I
they're
know
fired.
things.
I hope they all get fired. Anyone who did that
Was this
within
news outlets or what? Because like the only
News
place I've
outlets.
seen stuff like that, because I'll unfollow somebody if they post something like that.
Yeah.
But like I'll see them in like memes or some dumb shit. Like if I Google like a meme or something.
Yeah.
But
No, my thing is, well, they work for respective places. and
Okay.
They have it, they have.
so
their
they
bio,
have the
like-
audience. They have the fun because they're writers
Exactly.
for so and so or like
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not some fucking 2-follower troll going, like,
Right.
oh, I'm an asshole. This is somebody who's got,
like an actual
a job. They're a journalist.
journalist. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I could never do that, man. I thought I wanted to be a journalist. I could never do it.
it's so scummy.
Not how
It's
fucked
so
up they are nowadays.
It's so scummy. And like, look, don't get me wrong. And like, this is one of those things where it sucks that we always have to put these asterisks on things that it's like, look, man, if it did happen, I'm sorry. That sucks. But he was never proven guilty of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So why talk about it? If you want to bring it up, can you have some fucking, just like wait till after his funeral, something? Like maybe like on the year anniversary, go, hey, it's been a year. We should also think of this or something. Because the guy's not like, who are you atoning to? What are you doing?
But why do we even have to bring it up?
Because I don't. Okay.
It's not like he's Weinstein or some shit like that.
But then you have the argument of how many people do I have to murder to be a murderer? It's a somber thing to talk about. It's not a fun thing to talk about, but at the same time, there is a
But
time
why
and
weren't they
place.
talking about it though before? Why not talk about it before?
Because he's old news because he's still alive.
Okay, see, there we go. We don't need to talk
And
about
it's
it
shit.
now.
And it's shitty. And that's why it's scummy and underhanded. And that's why I'm like, if you feel the need to talk about it, give it a week.
When he was alive, they were just praising him for all the good stuff he was doing for different communities and shit like that.
Which, I mean, that's all people can talk about is how good he was and
Yeah.
how good he was about women's rights and like teaching his daughter to be the legacy for him. And again, I don't want to harbor on that because I want to get back to the celebrating the man. But
I do have one other thing though that I found fucked up about the situation.
yeah, feel free. Yeah.
Where it was reported that TMZ reported that before his family was told,
And did it wrong
yeah.
and said it wrong.
So
Most people didn't even know that the daughter. Everybody just thought it was him.
right.
And obviously the people who were flying him or whatever and potential crew. I believe it was upwards of 6 other people died, including him and his daughter.
Yeah. The pilot, and then there was 4 other passengers, I think.
Something like that. I think it was 6, but could have been 6 total. I'm not sure. It was like a friend and a coach and a couple of other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just. It's like the same shit with Paul Walker, man. He died going in a fast car. He was going to a charity or he was leaving a charity. It's like he was doing something really good.
He wasn't even driving his car.
Yeah, no, it was
It was his friend.
his buddy was. And I'm just like with the Kobe thing, it's man, yeah, allegations will be whatever they are, but it's not going to change how fans feel about them. It's a harsh truth. Sure, whatever. I don't care. I don't even particularly care about basketball anymore, but I knew the guy was important.
Yeah.
I even make the joke. I was telling Hannah, I'm like, no matter what happens, man, till the day I die, whenever I throw laundry into a basket or throw a paper ball into a trash can from distance, I'm going to let it hang and I'm going to yell Kobe. Like, it's just what I'm going to do. And if that's legacy, dude. Like, that's cool shit, man. And like, then you get to go through and see GIFs and interviews and people talk about him, and it's always sad to see that somebody like really high in the magnifying glass of pop culture needs to die for people to self-inflect. That like, yeah, it can happen to anyone. It's sombering in a way that I don't know. I wish people could have more often, just in a self-reflection on a day-to-day. Like, I think we'd treat people better and we'd make better decisions if we had that kind of looming over us a little more often. Like the idea of appreciating the things around you, which is so difficult to do. Like, it's so hard. And I don't know. I'm happy I got to live in a world where we had to argue if him, LeBron, or Michael Jordan were the greatest alive to ever play the game. What he was doing with this charity and what he was doing empowering his daughters and like female sports in general, he should still be commended for that. I think we should take a little more time and enjoy all the things he actually did for people and all the good things he did, and then go ahead. In a year or two, if you need clicks because you got nothing better to do, go ahead and bring that stuff up and see what it gets you and see if it's worth, the end game. But man, it's an awful tragedy. And when I heard it, I didn't believe it.
Yeah, when you texted me, I didn't believe you. I was just like,
Yeah.
I had to Google it real quick.
I was surprised that it hit me as hard as it did. He's an icon. He's Stan Lee. He's Stan Lee. He was Hugh Hefner. He was, Michael Jackson. He was. I don't know. It changes. It changes perspective. It changes the game. So, I'm sad it happened. Still probably gonna be sad it happened for a long time. But I'm glad to see at least people getting to have personal inflection, and hopefully something good comes from it. People being motivated to maybe be better, to do better things. I know myself, I've been having those moments lately, and it's sad it takes something like this to do it, but I'm glad it's finally happening for me. So there's the selfish thing I can take from it.
You also have to think, how long does it actually last with a lot of people, though?
Oh yeah, I mean
a
9/11.
week, a day.
You know, one day at a time. That's what they always say with sobriety and all that. I don't know. I love basketball. I like the Lakers. I love Shaq. I was a Pacers fan for the longest time, but it was kind of like watching Brett Favre kick my ass all the time. And as a Vikings fan, you hate the big names, but you respect them. And the reason why the guy died in a helicopter was because he was always it was his helicopter with his pilot, because he wanted to get to places faster and faster to get his workouts in. Yeah. He wanted to see his family more, and he wanted to do all these charities, and he found out that helicopter was the fastest way to do it. And that's why he did it. And
you're still statistically less likely to get into an accident in a helicopter than in a car.
Oh, the pilot he had was his personal dude. He goes, "This is who flies me." It's crazy. It's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
I hate to do it on a somber note, but it has to be talked about. Had to be, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, Black Mamba. Who's not gonna throw their hand up and let it hang and go, Kobe? Really sad, because from what I'd heard, his daughter was really on track to be a really, really prominent athlete.
Yeah.
So that's a shame. And I don't know them personally. I don't know the family. I'll do the
right.
Send condolences, all that. Who am I? But it's neat to see the effect that a stranger's death can have on you. It's neat. So hopefully something comes good from it. Hopefully the people who did awful misjudged things get a couple of consequences for it.
Right.
Nothing too mean, but I said die in a fire. It's obviously, you know what I mean. It's hyperbolic, and it just feels garbage to do that.
You're talking about when they go to the bad place.
When they go to the bad place.
There's a place in the bad place for people like that.
Right? Where they get tickled to death multiple times. I don't know. Do you got anything about basketball? You give a shit?
No, man. I really stopped watching.
I don't know if you've ever been a
on
sports
TV.
guy, have you? Yeah.
I stopped watching sports on TV when I was a kid. So, I knew of Kobe, and I followed when he did stuff, but nothing major.
I'll probably end up watching Dear Basketball.
Yeah.
Just because he won an Oscar for it, and be an excuse.
Which I'm sure that's probably going to be the most watched thing on Netflix this week. So
I mean, hopefully
If
it's
on
actually
Netflix,
good. If not, I bet it will be soon.
Netflix or Amazon, one of the two. No, I don't have much. Like, yeah, I know people say that, like even Ellen did a big speech about it makes you really appreciate life more, and you should appreciate everyone. Call your mom, shit like that, stuff like that. Yeah, I still haven't called my mom this week, but still.
But you know it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Like, I've been there too many times. Just having family die young, so I've seen like it firsthand how it affects the families and how it can affect, individual people all the time firsthand. Let alone this being a death in the spotlight. And all the bullshit and bogus stuff that it's gonna bring with the praise as well on the man. So I feel bad for the family, not only just because of their loss, but because of them having to deal with the spotlight shit. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
but hopefully they're taken care of well by the media outlets that aren't being dicks.
Exactly.
And they get some time to actually grieve without being like harassed
or something. Yeah.
Like TMZ, leave them the fuck alone. Like, back up. Like, don't walk along the streets when they're going in to like the church or whatever, wherever
I'm like
if they're
TMZ.
even. They
I'd
should
be like,
just back the
TMZ,
fuck
take
up.
take a week off, boys.
Yeah.
Take a week off.
But apparently they're big at that. Nick asked me, she's like, how did they even report that before? I was like, dude, they probably got people in the police station, fire station, everywhere. They got people everywhere in that fucking state. It's crazy.
Yeah, my thing is let's just hold on to the sentiment of count your minutes. Just, if you love somebody, at least tell them that if you can see them.
Yeah. And there's so many ways for you to see people even if you don't live with them.
Yeah. I'm not saying call your mama every fucking day and going, oh, how was breakfast? I'm saying just remember that there are people in your lives.
Yeah.
Stuff sucks. Work is always going to be awful. You're going to have your bad days.
Yeah.
The day you don't appreciate the person who's still hanging in there with you is the day you're just going to push everyone away. So it's important. Just tell the people you give a shit about. Thank you for being there. Like Michael, thank you every week, forcing me to get on the mic with you. And even if maybe I'm too tired or not feeling it.
Right.
It's nice to have human interaction. I don't need to sleep in my bed all day.
I mean,
it would be nice, but I don't need to.
Maybe I should set this up in my bedroom.
I know it's a somber thing for me to end on, but it's kind of just how I felt. I've had a weird week myself, and it was nice to sit and chat about the dismantling of all the things I used to love.
And then losing an actual icon.
And then losing an icon. It'll move forward. Everybody moves forward.
Yeah.
But hopefully the idea of legends never die. I like it.
Hashtag DC Legends. No. All right, man. With that said, then let me just finish it up with a quote.
Yeah, boy.
You can take it to go with almost everything we talked about today.
Yeah.
It's a quote from Frank Herbert. He is the writer of the Dune books. That's what he's most notable for. And again, we talked about like that thing I said earlier about
his son
the
started
breakdown.
writing new books, right?
I believe so. I
think so.
Yeah.
I'm like 90% sure.
But he was asked questions before and this isn't like a quote from his book. It was like in an interview, talking about like, ending books and shit like that. Like how do you write, basically?
How to close out a storyline.
Yeah. And his quote is, "There is no real ending. It's just the place where you stop the story."
Fair enough.
There we go.
Yeah, I like it. I agree. So I'm going to go with later, nerds. Be happy and Kobe.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Don't forget to find Myke on all social platforms, including YouTube, by searching Myke Shrews, MYKESHREWS. You can find John on Instagram and YouTube via Bald Man Bad. Thanks and have a great day.